What's up, guys? In today's video, it's a little different. I'm throwing you right into a conversation that I was having with Linzi and Jerome. Linzi and Jerome are both two successful traders that I've been working with for over a year now. The three of us together have some mixed reviews on the idea of funding Forex traders. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons, and I'm really interested to hear your feedback when it comes to this topic. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's a little bit different, and I covered up just a few of the names that we mentioned of traders that we're coaching, just for privacy reasons. You don't need to know their names, but I think you can pull some valuable lessons from the stories that we share from them too. So we'll talk about a lot in this video, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. And if you do watch the whole thing, let me know. I want to know what you think of this new format where I just kind of throw you into a little behind the scenes conversation here. So enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you find value. Here's our conversation about the pros and cons of trading with a funding company.
Yeah, I was talking to Jack, I was just saying, like, because he's been taking a few trades the past week. I was saying I've seen a lot more reversals recently. I don't know if that's the end of the year. I don't know if that's just.
I think, and I said, I've just been speaking to him before we came on this call actually, and he said he took a loss on GJ today.
Yeah.
But he's trading too many hours as well.
Yeah, he's trading all the time frame.
Pull him in, Linzi. Come on, reel him in. Give him some good advice because I have high hopes for that kid.
Yeah, you got to remember he's on a time frame to pass that verification.
Right, so he's crushing. He's trying to. He's staying up all night.
He's staying up all night. He's taking too many trades, but he's taking too many losses as well.
Exactly.
Right. Well, that's the always. I mean, I talked to earlier this week, and he was saying to me, like, he DM'd me, and we were doing voice messages, and he was like, should I really be like, I want to trade, like, should I really be getting rid of C setups? And I'm like, if you cannot trade, you're going to probably make more money, but you're going to be less busy. Like, you're just going to have to understand how hard that is to accept. And he's like, I don't think I get that yet. And I'm like, you need to really think about it and accept it. And like, that's the reality that this is. Not taking all of these trades is going to help you because you're going to avoid some big mistakes. And I think it really got with him this week because he did something well. He ended up getting out of a trade and then getting back in and making some money. I forget exactly what he said, but it ended up working out well for him. So I think and like, even today, I would hope that yesterday I wanted to trade GJ so bad and everybody can see that because I share my thoughts in the chat. Yeah. And then today it comes in and gives a much better trade than yesterday. Yeah. So even though I was angry, like I said to you guys, I was mad at myself for not putting money into it yesterday afternoon or anything. Doesn't matter. The market will still come around and give me the trades that I know. You just know it. Like, you saw my tweet today. You just know some of these trades. Like, it's like, that's a good trade. I know I'm going to win this. I can get this on Twitter. I can get this on Instagram. I'm up. This is going to work. But some of them you don't. And those are the ones that, like, I think, needs to cut out. Bay needs to cut out. That's where the gray area.
Yeah. I was honest with him and said that to him though. I was like, you're going on about my success, Austin's success. But I said, you'll not see us in setups like this. I says, and you're over trading. He's over trading.
That's facts. Facts. You will not see me in some of the setups that he's in. Absolutely not. Right. And
it's just over trading, and I think it's I think it's since he's done his challenge.
Yeah, because he's on the pressure. Yes, he wants to pass the verification.
Yeah. This is one of the biggest con of, I think, a lot of the funding companies, the idea of the challenge. But it is a game. Like, they get to make. What if we started a company and we said, let's make some rules? Okay, you got to pass 15%. Oh, we would get so many people signing up, right? Because think about it. You got to just say, all right, let's make this enticing. Let's make this exciting. People love challenges. They love to be, because you're talking to people that think they're going to make money in a business where 90% of people don't make money. So you're literally poking the bear by using the word challenge, because you're poking the alpha in all of these traders who think they can make it. When majority of traders don't make it, you could go into another business. The probabilities of success are way higher, right? But because this alpha,
we're going to give you a course. We're going to teach you how to trade, and then after that, we're going to give you a funded account.
Right. But it's crazy because I think the challenge part of it is what distracts people from actually trading well. Like, if you're trying to fit a challenge, you're going to end up like Jack or like some of these guys that have gone through it. We have guys who have passed, but we have a lot of guys that have not passed their first couple of times. Not right. And we know how many people don't pass some of these challenges in general. And I think it's because they have these challenge rules that make you not trade the way that real traders actually make consistent money trading. How many times have you guys heard other consistent traders, not just me? How many times have you heard other people say, I can make money when my market's on, and I know when my market's off and when I need to step away and not trade anything? How many, every successful trader I think says that. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I've heard it millions of times from other traders, professional
traders
traders.
like thinking that think the market's on all the time.
All the time, right? They try to
All
trick
the
you.
time.
Literally,
And
Forex is
like,
built to
why
trick
are
you.
still at your computer at that time? Where's your discipline in your trading
What is he
session?
doing? Trading like late New York session stuff?
He must be.
Yeah.
And
So
if you're staring at the charts, like if you're looking at it, you're gonna convince yourself as a setup presenter. You're gonna take it.
And like it's no beef against anybody that's trying to do that. Like he's a great trader. Like there's no beef against him or anybody indirectly. But it's like you have to be. This is part of the hard thing that makes trading difficult to do is you have to accept a lot of new realities. The new reality here is that 24/7 Forex is almost, it's not, because that's really when the market is open, but it's almost a gimmick to get people to think they should be trading all times of hours, any time of day. It's always a money machine. It's like almost a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Like a scam, almost in the way that it's in the way that it's built, but it's not.
For retail traders, exactly.
Exactly. So I think that the biggest con for these funding companies is that challenge. What do you guys think are other cons of the funding companies? Is there any other ones that stick out? I have a couple.
Yeah, so pretty much just what we've kind of been covering, which with behavior issues. Like you can really kind of develop really bad habits in trading.
That's what I think.
Kind of force yourself to meet expectations that, aren't possible. And like I've said this before with consistency, like the market could, like you were just saying, Austin, the market could be off for a month, 2 months. It could just be going consolidation.
The coronavirus can hit. Anything can happen.
Global pandemics, geopolitical events. So when you have these time limits and you got to meet these criteria these trading, these prop firm companies are offering you, it makes it stressful. And you start, like we were saying, over trading. You start taking setups you shouldn't be involved in. You start doing all sorts of mistakes, and you can just build bad habits. And it's easy to build bad habits in trading, So, yeah.
What do you think, Lindsay? Any other cons that stick out?
That's the same as me, the bad habits, because that's the reason why I've never went with any of them, because I didn't like the 20-day trading day.
Right.
Because I knew straight away that was putting pressure on me not being disciplined to follow my rules if the market's not there. So if you've only got 20 days and your market's not there for 10 of them,
what are you going to do? Force trades. You're going to do bad things.
I'm going to have to go into the market here. So I'm going to have to pull the trigger at something that I don't want to do.
Like if we're going to talk about the con first, the big con, which is this challenge, then give it a big pro, which is that it does potentially open the door for a lot of traders to get funded and get capital. My experience with it has always been that prop firms operate in like a stock, options, futures atmosphere more than they operate in a Forex space. But if you look at the last, like we were talking about, Jerome, like look at the last year, 2 years, they're popping up out of nowhere. And it's probably not going to get better. So you have more and more prop firms showing up and saying, hey, prove to me you can trade and I'll give you capital. And like that does sound great on paper. But the problem that I've always had with it is these people, and this is not like a beef against any trader, a beef against any company, but it's like most traders cannot make consistent returns. So no one, I've never met anyone that can show me 3 or 4 consistent quarters of withdrawals from a prop firm in the Forex space. I've only been able to find that from equity guys, stock guys with really big firms in New York City. You know what I'm saying? That are really, really well known. So it's a big pro because of what
do you think that is because that the majority, say, that are going into these prop firms haven't got the education behind them or the consistency behind them, and they are pretty new into the market? So they're the ones that are seeing the kind of prop firms as they're thinking easy money, so we'll just go in, and that's why we're not seeing the consistency in the returns.
Well, because like these companies are saying, give me $600 or $500 or $300, and I'm going to give you $100K.
Yeah.
Number one, some of them are not even giving real funds. They're giving demo funds. Once you pass the first demo, they give you another demo, which is like a joke. But then the ones that do say they're giving you real money, think about, like for me, I just say, think about the numbers. Like how many people are they going to get to sign up for that before they have to pay out one person? One person passes the challenge, gets a real account, makes money, and then they have to pay them out. I mean, you're going down a funnel and you're getting down to like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's that part of it is disheartening to me. You know what I'm saying? But I think if we can find a company that is paying people out consistently, and they, you think that they would want to talk about other traders that are successful with them. If they had these people that were really making money month on month with them, quarter on quarter, then I would definitely look to see if that prop firm would be more legit, because then we could recommend it to other traders. You know what I mean? Like the goal for me, I don't know about you guys, is I'm very grateful. I have a decent sized chunk of change that I'm trading with right now, and I've been saving that. So I feel like it's hard earned and it's worth it. I think a lot of people aren't that fortunate. So this is like a potential huge opportunity for them. So to be able to go in and recommend not only great education, which is what I think we do have, the reviews show that at ASFX, but if we could recommend a prop firm to say, yo, if you learn the ASFX systems, you could go get funding right here. That would be a huge win for ASFX and for anybody that came in contact.
Opportunity for any new trader or even struggling traders in general.
If I just think back to when I got started in trading, if that was an opportunity where some company was like, here's a real system, people are really doing this, making money, like we show people using our systems making money, and then also here's a way to go get funded, that's like a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Even more so than what we already have now, I like to think. So I think it's, for me, always a big motivator about talking about these prop firms and hearing them out. And I was on Topstepfx's podcast. They want to make some content with me. Like, I think part of it is to find one that actually works eventually so we can recommend them. What motivates you guys to still see these ideas out? Like, what's motivating you to still potentially move to a prop firm and trade with them?
The biggest thing for me is that the capital I have sitting in my trading account, I can diversify that in other assets. You know, like I can take some of it out and I can start investing, you know, maybe into real estate. I can put it into stocks. I can put it, you know, into personal growth development. Like I can expand other areas in my life. So for me, like trading someone else's money, it also kind of removes that emotional connection. I know a lot of traders have with some of their capital where they find it hard taking trades, or they find it hard trading consistently because maybe they're up in profit, you know, up 2-3%. They don't want to get those profits back because that's, you know, actually their money. When you're trading someone else's money, you don't get your payout to the end of the month.
Huge.
So it's just a massive psychological advantage as well, trading
totally agree.
someone else's money. So that's kind of
I mean, you have personal experience with your own money, Jerome. I know you have a decent sized account too. Like, do you feel if you were trading someone else's money that it would not just allow you, like you said, to diversify, but do you think you would trade potentially better with someone else's money then?
I feel like I would, like just like doing other like assessments with other traders, other prop firms. You kind of focus more on the process and the dollar figure, that everything's just kind of gone because you're not worried about it because it isn't your money.
I'll tell you, a piece for me is like there's more, your name is more on the line when you're with a prop firm and you're trading with their money, because they're going to know how good you're doing. You can't hide behind Instagram or hide behind anything else. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think, like I said a second ago, if we could ever align with a prop firm, that I would be more than willing to take an assessment and prove to them that I can trade. I'm willing to do that, to then prove to others that you could get paid out from it. But it's always just been this challenge. I don't know about, like, because you're in Australia, so it's different. Like, it's just been a challenge to find a company that is like serious, like not trying to put me through a game to prove to them that I can trade, but at the same time, not letting every trader that comes to their desk get funded, because that wouldn't make sense either. You know what I mean? Like, it should be. Yeah.
And I mean, the way a lot of these prop firms market it, it's like, you know, give me $300, $400,
right?
Make, you know, X amount of percent, and I'll give you 100,000 plus in capital to trade. I mean, that's very appealing to any trader, especially like what you were saying before, Lindsay, with educational side of it. It's basically like you can open up a brokerage and get fund, like put $50 in that account and start trading with no education. Like, they don't care. Right. You know, brokers don't care. So people see that you can just pay $350. That's an extra $300 to what you're paying, depositing in your Forex account, you know, and for a potential 100K, I can see a lot of new traders doing this because I mean, for a lot of Forex on Instagram, it's marketed as easy, simple money. In terms of it, it's not. When you put rules behind it in how you can achieve a 10% profit target, it makes it very challenging. So
the hardest part is risk management, especially if you have targets and limitations that you have to work within. I'm going to just make an assumption here. I would bet 90% of people go into these challenges and these trials with no plan of how they're going to risk what we spend an hour and a half talking about before we even start the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, the actual mechanics of good trading and good money management, right? So when these guys are like, all right, I got to make 10%, can only lose this much. All right, I got like 3 trades before I blow it out, and then I got to refund it. All right, well, like I think a lot of people approach it that way. You know what I mean? Trying to keep it very simple and not giving it like the fair thought of complexity that it is, you know?
when you've got to our stage in your journey, you know, we've got a lot. You've got 6 years behind you. I've got 4 years behind me. When I'm thinking about joining a prop firm, I want to join a prop firm that has the right, you know, steps in place, and I'm not just taking MD in, really, you know, because I know there'll be prop firms out there that will have specific, you know, risk management rules and what have you. I want to be tied to a company like that, rather than ones that people are just throwing their monies at to see it as an easy money avenue.
Is it wrong to think, like, being honest, and like you guys, the reason I love working with you guys is because I would hope that you'll always be honest with me and call me on my bullshit when I'm making an error. I think part of me feels like there's not many people that are going to get funded with a prop firm and make consistent returns. So if there's that few people doing it, do you really think it's as easy as like a quick $300 deposit and prove that you can do this? And then at that point, if you can become a part of these people that are funded and in that circle of people, once you're in it, I feel like there's a totally big level of scalability that's a part of it.
Yeah.
But it's about like getting into that circle. You know what I'm saying? And it's like getting out of this circle of people who trade their own money and risk their own capital. Because like you said, Jerome, I've made my own money doing other businesses and having other, I mean, some of my money goes back to the DJ stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, like that's where my original trading account started getting funded from, was my extra DJ money. So it's like, that's my hard earned money that I've been saving for such a long time. So to be able to take that off the table, or some of it off the table as risk, just looking at risk reward, money in what we have to our name versus the everything else, taking that off the table and being able to diversify it out to something else is very appealing to me at my point in life too, which is why we're taking this conversation so seriously. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like, think about it.
I'm the same for Gordon, because obviously that's, you know, he's working full time and he has to give me a portion of that to put into an account.
Right.
And that's the only way I can grow my account.
Right. So but imagine if you could not need that at all.
I'll not need that at all.
Right. I mean, it's super appealing. It's super appealing. Like it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So that's why but it's always been about, I mean, I doubted the firm that my brother works for. I doubted them for a really long time because they never paid him out. I just want to see payouts. Like that's all that matters to me, is pay me on the profits that we make together, and then I'll trust you. That's it. That's all it is. I don't, nothing else.
That's the big question for sure. But like, I mean, coming back to another con, like, I think we're like, us three are in this kind of space where we're diversified. We have other sources of income. We're funding our trading account externally. We're not just racking up profits and then, you know, using that. Right. My thought is like, a lot of new traders like that are new to it and they don't understand risk to reward. They don't understand trade management, risk management. What happens is they pass the account out of a fluke or risk, right? And they don't have external accounts. Maybe they're working full time. They get this 100K account. They quit their job. What happens a month down the track? They break the rule and they take the money taken away.
That's scary. You're right, bro. Good point.
Like
that's a really good point.
That's like, that's insane. Like
a rare case, but could happen for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just another thing I think a lot of people got to take. You got to think like long term, like think of all the outcomes and possibilities that could happen. Like there is a lot of pros. You're always looking at the bright side. Like, you know, I have all this money to trade. I'm going to make, you know, 10%, you know, a month. Like it's going to be a massive income for me. But like always look at what could go wrong in that sense. You know,
it's always about what you got to risk. The potential reward, the upside is fantastic. We all know that, right? It's always about the risk. I think too, like part of it is for me, at the point that I'm at in my career, if I'm going to ever get with a prop firm, I would get with a prop firm where I could be in like communication in some way with the people running it. So I could feel like, okay, if I do well, I'm trading in front of eyes that could get me in front of more eyes and more capital, and they could go raise more money. And I could get in this circle of people that talk about 10 million here, 50 million here. I'm not there yet. That's where I'm trying to get to. So I think like the prop firm even could be like a step. Since you gave it a con, I'm giving it a pro kind of. If you get with the right prop firm, it could be like a step towards a better network of traders, people with more money, with more capital, banks, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where you would never get there on your own if you were just trading your own money the whole time.
No, I think that's kind of where I'm at, Austin, the same as you. It's like, for me, it's a next challenge for me.
Right.
You know, my first challenge was to get to consistency and find my edge, and I've done that.
Yeah.
So I'm now
you want to scale up. You're ready to get bigger
and scale it.
Yeah. I love that.
Seeing the potential, definitely. That's a really good point. Like, I mean, I think being consistent is the first step, like you're saying.
For sure.
I mean, I think a lot of traders don't even take that as a possibility when they see these funded
No,
accounts.
they don't.
Because
And I
paying
think
before,
it only stands strong with me because I know it took me 2.5 years to get
it
there.
takes time.
And I'm not,
Exactly.
I've always been truthful about that when they ask me how long have you been, 2.5 years it took me.
Mhm.
And now I feel like I've done that challenge and I've got there. I now need another challenge though to keep pushing me.
Yeah. No, there's
Exactly.
definitely a piece about that too.
Mhm.
And I think my only other like major drawback, not so much a con, like not a big negative to it, is the preliminary time that you have to give to something that potentially will not be what it says it is. You
Yeah.
never really know what's going on behind the scenes with these companies. We don't know what they're doing. And I can speak from experience from having worked at one. There's
Yeah.
always something going on behind the scenes. There's always somebody plotting to do this and not hurt anybody necessarily all the time, but let's take the company in this direction. Oh, these people might get cut off here, but it's okay.
Yep.
I don't want to ever be in a situation with my prop firm, if I'm ever with one, where that becomes like me at the bottom of the stick. And that's where I feel like you would be in some of these bigger firms that are taking on 10,000 challenges a year, 20,000 people taking the challenge a year. You're not going to get personal attention at all. And I think that's what again, back to my comment a few minutes ago, if we're talking about hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, is that something everybody's talking about? No, this is a very small group of people. So how could you think that you know what I mean? Like 10,000 people or whatever company all have 300,000 or whatever, like no way, it's just not possible. I think that there's this whole other aspect of it. It's like you're trying to get down the funnel, you know what I mean? And at that end of the funnel, customer service and being personal and being close with the person on the other end is very important, because otherwise you don't know that it's real, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally agree.
I'm trying to think if there's any other points that I have about the whole thought process. Like I said, I really hope that people who watch our videos and hear our conversation about it understand that we're trying to look at it from an unbiased point of view, because we want to be able to recommend and put out content that will still make other people that watch our shit make better decisions. You know what I mean? That's always been our goal, is help cut the learning curve. This is a huge thing. If we can find one that works. And listen, it's funny. Somebody asked me, you hear X, Y, and Z company? I'm like, no, I've never heard of that. That day, they email me and they're like, hey, we pay out affiliates to people that bring people here. I will never be an affiliate for a prop firm. I promise you guys, I promise YouTube, it would be a conflict of interest for me to drive people to a brokerage or a prop firm and not just really be invested in teaching people how to trade.
That is something I've had a couple of times. And actually I've had one in my Instagram, and he got quite ratty with me because he said to me, you must have deleted me out my last message. And I was like, I'm not interested. Delete.
Right. Now you got to get blocked.
It was a broker. If I could be an affiliate for them and promote them on, and I was like,
same kind of thing. Right.
Why would I do
that? Brokers are even worse than the prop firms, though. The brokers, they just want us to promote them because they just want turnover. They just want people trading, and then they make small little money on everybody doing that.
And I was like, no. Delete.
Block. So yeah, I feel like I think we covered a lot in this one. I'm gonna, like I said, we'll put a little edit together so it'll look good, it'll flow well. But I think for everybody that's still watching, we appreciate you sitting all the way through. I hope that today's video just gets you thinking a little bit differently about the pros and cons that go along with trading with a funded company. It isn't something that you should go into with a light heart. I think that's like the clear thing on either side. You go into this, you got to do a lot of research. You got to be focused. You got to be willing to get burned, because some of these companies are scams. So it's really important that you do your own research. And that's why even today, we didn't really mention any company names. We don't endorse any particular company, and we don't bash any particular company.
No.
They can make whatever challenge they want. We could have started whatever challenge we want. You know what I mean? Anybody, but as far as like what makes good trading, hopefully those of you watching will do good research and find a company that looks like they're aligned with you actually trading well. What were you going to say, Lindsay?
I'm just going to say, I'm thinking back to when me and you first had this conversation, and I honestly think it was like July time.
Yep.
So that's like 6 months we've been talking
just
about
watching
firms,
trying different things. Yep. But it's something in the same sense.
Lighthearted, lighthearted. I was thinking we've been discussing this from like July.
No jokes. Yeah. Because it's not. Because I think I'm very valuable. I value my time very highly. So I just wouldn't like jump into this decision quickly. I'm doing a lot of research. Everybody in our community will watch this video. They'll feel it out. They're all talking in the chat too. So there's still a lot of information being spread. And like you said, Jerome, new firms are popping up all over the place. There could be a new firm in a year that's fucking great. It could be the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's definitely good to mention that, like, you don't have to always, like, a lot of these prop firms will advertise, and I mean, they'll hit the advertisement heavy and they'll market themselves just because they're gaining popularity and everyone's recommending on Instagram.
Does not mean that they're getting paid
know.
out.
And
Exactly.
what people, I think, also have to remember is, so like, and I think we've spoken this in another video, Austin, is when you're getting this money from this prop firm, though, be making sure that you're putting it into,
Gotta take
like
the
a
profits.
personal
Yes,
account. You've got to
yes.
take the profits
Yep.
and put
You
them
need an
in
exit plan.
to grow your personal account, because what happens is eventually the prop firms go, "Oh," and there's none.
100%.
So that's another
Yep,
thing
yep.
that could happen, you know. So we need to be making sure we're taking the profits and putting them into other accounts.
Because at the end of the day, you really want full control over the situation as much as you can have it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if you're not taking profits, you might be thinking you're making money, but you're really not making any money. You know what I'm saying? So taking profits is huge. I totally agree. Especially from these prop firms, for sure. But yeah, this is good, guys. I'm glad that we got together to make this happen. For everybody watching, let us know in the comments if you enjoyed today's video, a little bit more laid back, but still hopefully a lot of value, a lot of good conversation, just to get you thinking, whether you're listening to this while you're trading or you're listening to this while you're on a run or walking the dog or taking a shit, whatever you're doing.
Right.
Hopefully it just gets you thinking a little bit differently. That's what we're here to do. So let us know if you have any questions in the comments. Jerome and Lindsay, thank you guys always. I appreciate it.
All right,
Yeah, absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody. And we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.